Hello there, folks. This is Dickerson of the Dickerson Bluegrass Talk Show. I am here at the Sterling Bluegrass Jamboree in Mount Sterling, Ohio. Like the shirts, it's pretty awesome. The uniforms from me and my dad, but brought to you by the Dickerson Productions, one of the finest media companies all around the world, bluegrass in my opinion. And this guy here who's next to me is an award-winning songwriter in bluegrass, Americana, country, and gospel music.
That's right.
Mark Brink.
Yeah. Well, good to be here, Alan. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Tell me first, before we talk about the songs you write, tell me how you like being here at Sterling Bluegrass Jamboree.
Oh, well, I love to share, and I know you do a great job with this, so it's always fun to have the interview and talk about bluegrass and songwriting. There's nothing more fun than talking about songwriting to me. Yeah. That's what I love to do, and that's what I do every day. So I just love talking about it, and I'm excited to be on your show.
That's good. And Brink, tell me how you got started into songwriting.
Well, it's almost hard to go back to start because I've been writing songs as long as I can remember. Even as a kid, I used to write, just goofy songs, and then in high school, I'd write about all the girls I couldn't go out with, and they'd break up with me, and I'd write a song, and and I know they were pretty bad at that point. It was the start. I started to, but I always played music. I played piano when I was 4 years old. I started playing piano, and my family always played. My grandfather played with Tommy Dorsey, with the old big band, years in the 40s and 50s. And so I grew up with music. My mother was a violin player and a singer. So we just always had music. So it's hard to really put a point on when I started writing, because I started writing heavy probably in college, in high school and college. And then I didn't do it seriously until about 30 years ago. And then we can get into that later, but that's kind of where I started.
And then you were in the Chris Austin songwriting contest.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to, I've made the finals, I think 9 times.
9 times?
Over the years, and I won it twice. So I loved going there because the music was always wonderful, and the package that if you got in the finals, you always got tickets to the show and the hotel and food, and got backstage passes, which were important because then I got to talk to all the artists, and I could pitch songs. Backstage, I had to talk to them and see if I could pitch them some songs. So that was really exciting. And eventually I came back as a judge. 1 year I was a judge for the contest. So I kind of went full circle there. I was in it a lot and entered a lot, and I went in a couple times, and then came back as a judge, which was a lot of fun.
And you've written a lot of songs, over 500 songs throughout the years. And let's talk about some of the songs you have written in the past.
It's interesting. The very first song I had some songs recorded, but they weren't really that, I wouldn't call them real successful. They were okay. But then the very first song that was #1 for me was Don Rigsby recorded Bluestone Mountain. And it was kind of an interesting story of how he got the song. I play mandolin, and a lot of mandolin or banjo or guitar or whatever. Do you remember a young man by the name of Ryan Holiday, a banjo player? And he was young at that, about 10 years old, and he traveled with his dad and his uncle, and they were at the MAC festival, and they needed a mandolin player. Somebody told them to check with me. Say, go see Brink, he plays mandolin. So I played mandolin on his show, and then that was fun. But then we were down at Doyle Lawson's festival on our way to Myrtle Beach, and there was Mark Holiday and Ryan Holiday again. Said, and they saw me walking, and they said, "Did you bring your mandolin?" He says, and I said, "Yeah." He said, "You want to play another show?" He says, says, I can't pay you. I said, it was typical. Anyway, so in exchange, I had a cassette tape of Blue Stone Mountain that I'd recorded. And I knew that Ryan was making an album produced by Don Rigsby. And I said, I think Don Rigsby would like this song. I said, in exchange for me playing mandolin, you have to play this for Don Rigsby. I said, don't just give it to him. You have to make sure he listens to it. And so he kept his end of the bargain. And it was in November that year, Don called me up and said, hi, Brink, I just recorded Blue Stone Mountain. Of course, he did that, and it went to #1, and it's still played quite a bit. The Kruger brothers have recorded it. Many other, about 16 other bands have recorded Blue Stone Mountain over the years. So that's kind of how it started.
And who's your songwriting influences?
Oh, I go way back. My first influences were guys like Dan Fogelberg and guy Steve Goodman. You know, Steve wrote like City of New Orleans and a bunch of others. He was, John Prine was a big influence. I used to go to Chicago sometimes. I was living in Wisconsin. I'd go hear them in the bars down in Chicago, and they'd sing all their songs, and I was really impressed. And then bluegrass-wise, you know, I loved Randall Hilton and writing, and I loved Leroy Drummond, Pete Goebel, you know, all those songs really hit good. Of course, Bill Monroe, of course. I love Bill Monroe's instrumentals. That's my favorite as far as what Bill wrote. His instrumentals to me are just wonderful.
Yeah, they sure
So
are.
those are kind of there. But of course, you know, I've grown up with guys like Jerry Salley and Carl and Larry Cordell, and I've been fortunate to have written songs with these guys now, which is beyond me. You know, way back when, those were my idols, and now I get to write with them. Louisa Branscombe, her and I written a lot of songs together. Of course, she wrote Steel Rails, you know, Trails and Krause, and a bunch of others. So Paula Breedlove, a wonderful lyric writer. Paula is one of the best lyric writers on the planet, I think. And her and I have written about 100 songs together, but she writes lyrics, and she's one of the best. And I usually get in the melody, and then we work it out, and we have a good relationship there, and she's just wonderful to write with. So I've been blessed with a lot of great co-writers. I write back then about 70% myself, and then about 30% co-write. Now it's about 50-50. Because I enjoy the co-writing, you know.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, there you
As a
go.
songwriter myself, that's something I like doing too.
Yeah, there you go.
And speaking of songwriting, you got the Songwriter of the Lifetime at Gmail Award by the Dickerson Bluegrass. What was that thoughts when you got that award?
Well, it's humbling to get an award like that. It might mean you're old, because you've been around a long time, but it sure is appreciated. You know, we work hard as songwriters, you know yourself. You work behind the scenes, and you don't get a lot of recognition. You know, everybody, you're not on the stage, you're not on the radio, you know, and all that, but, you know, there's a lot of good feelings, and to get that, it really feels great, and I appreciate it a lot.
You're welcome, Brink.
You know, I really appreciate that. Anything like that just makes you feel like you've accomplished something. You know, and so I'm humbled, and I appreciate the award. That's awesome.
You're welcome, Brink. And you got any advice to tell people about songwriting?
Well, a lot of it is it's got to be a passion. I don't know of any songwriters that are successful that write for the money, because there isn't a lot of money in it, but you would write if there's not a penny involved. You still have to write. You have things to say, and you have ideas, and you want to get them out. And I remember Tom T. Hall. I sat next to him 30 years ago at a IBMA thing. I was pretty new to the songwriting as far as professional songwriting. And he asked me, he goes, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a songwriter. Of course, I'm next to a legend, And and he said, well, did you write a song today? I said, well, we're here at IBMA. We're in Owensboro, Kentucky, you know. And I said, no, we're here. I didn't really write one. He said, well, did you write one yesterday? And I said, no, I didn't write one yesterday. He said, well, then you ain't a songwriter. And I kind of, what? You know, but that was some of the best advice I've ever had, because if you're a songwriter, I write, and I write every day, and I'm sure you've seen my mission statement is to drink coffee and make stuff up.
Yes, sir.
And I do. I get up in the morning and I write every single day.
Yeah, that's great advice, although I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah. You can drink whatever you want.
Yeah, but anyway, Brink, what's the website so everybody can know where you find you at, Facebook or?
Where they can find me?
Yes.
Yeah, usually I don't really have a website. I think there is a website called brinksongs.com. It's so old that I need to get the information updated. Probably 15 years old on there, because I know it says like I think it said I had 130 songs. I'm getting close to 500 now, and written close to 5,000 songs. So, you know, but there's a lot of stinkers in there too. I mean, you just got to keep writing, and some of them are good, and some are diamonds, and some are stones, as they say. You know, so anyway, my advice would be just to, you know, and then study the craft, listen to songs that, you know, the people you admire. If you admire, like Larry Portal is one of the best, you know. Listen to his songs. What makes his songs so good, you know? What things does he bring into a song, and how does he tell a story, you know? And how does that, and the melody, how it all fits together, and kind of, you know, try to analyze what's making that song. Why do I like that song so much? What makes me like it? And then try to write songs like that, you know. So, yeah.
One more question.
Sure.
From the songs you had in the past, including Phil and Joe, was done by Michael Cleveland Claimkeeper, up to today's, even the Oklahoma On by Larry Sparks, and even the Hammertown's latest single out, Mountain View Records, Outlet Over, and Deep River by Rick Ferris on North Shore Recording. What was those songs meant to you when you wrote them?
Well, you know, you try to tap into the idea, you know, and then the key to anything, I'll give you an example of how my process. Yesterday, you know Scotty Adams?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Scotty would put a picture of an old farmhouse and talked about that wooden door slamming all the time, the screen door slamming. And that was an idea to me. That's a good memory of growing up. Of course, your mom used to always yell at you, "Don't let that screen door slam," you know, and boom, you know, they'd yell at you. But that to me was kind of a good memory now, you know. So I wrote a song yesterday called "The Old Screen Door," and about how he's moved away and he's got a good job in the city, but then when he thinks back to, you know, being on the farm, and he even misses the sound of that old screen door slamming, you know. So, you know, you just kind of, I write from experience. I try to put my own experiences in songs. And hopefully my experiences are a lot same as yours and everybody else. Because if it's too personal, then you won't get it, because it's about me. So I have to make it about universal things. You know, people, you know, if I'm singing a song about the old home place, I can't make it so specific that only I know it. I need to make it specific, you know, just enough so everybody can, in their minds, they're going to their home. You know, everybody's going to their own home place in their head. You know, I may be singing the song, but everybody's going to their own home. They're not going to my home, they're going to there to remember it. And that's the key to a good song. That's the advice. You paint the picture. That's all I tell them. Paint the picture, because the lyrics don't bring the emotion. You know, people talk lyrics, but if you paint a picture, then if I'm hearing that song, I'm seeing the picture in my mind, and that picture will make me feel it in the heart, you know. That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah, good question.
Thank you so much, Brink. And,
All right, well,
and
thank you.
And you're performing at 3 o'clock today, right?
Yeah, you bet.
And
So, we'll have a good time.
yes, sir. And thank you so much. I'm Evan Dickerson from the Untitled Chapter
Yeah.
Association, live from Sterling Bluegrass Jamboree in Mount Sterling, Ohio, with Mark Brinkman. And that's a truly legend songwriter. You folks take care. Brought to you by the Untitled Chapter Productions. Folks take care. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you.